English 2, Section 99, Unit 3. What does it mean to be polite? Reading 2. Answers to all your travel questions. Please turn to page 186 in your book. Please look at these 6 questions. Question number 1. In the United States, a potluck party is a party where everyone sings, a party where everyone bangs on pots, or a party where everyone brings some food to share. Circle the correct answer A, B, or C. Read each question 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and circle the correct answer. Please press pause on the video and answer the questions in your book. Let's check our answers to the questions. Number 1, in the United States, a potluck party is a party where everyone brings some food to share. Number 2, the most popular sport in Japan is baseball. In Burma or Myanmar, the frog is worn as an amulet for protection against evil. Number 4, in the United States on Thanksgiving, most Americans eat turkey. In India, holy men and women usually wear the color white. In Thailand, a monk wears an orange robe. All right, now turn the page and let's look at some vocabulary. The vocabulary for this lesson has been highlighted. Please listen and repeat the word. Number 1, advice, advice. Number 2, custom, custom. Number 3, informal, informal. Number 4, interrupt, interrupt. Number 5, take part in, take part in. Number 6, traditional, traditional. Number 7, avoid, avoid. Number 8, typical, typical. Now, please read each sentence 1 to 8 and circle the correct definition for the highlighted word. Please press pause on the video and do the exercise now. Now, let's check our answers for the vocabulary. Number 1, my uncle gave me some good advice about starting a business. Advice. C, words that help you decide what to do. Number 2, custom. A custom you will notice when you go to Japan is that people don't wear shoes inside their homes. Custom is a way of life. A. Number 3, classes at many universities are informal. Students can bring food to class and ask questions whenever they want. Informal means B, relaxed and friendly. Number 4, it's rude to interrupt someone when they are speaking. You should always let them finish. Interrupt. The answer A, make someone stop talking. Number 5, I want to take part in the meeting about the neighborhood school. I think it's going to be very interesting. Take part in. Take part in means to join or participate in. B. Number 6, it's traditional in some countries for the bride to wear a white dress for the wedding. In other countries, the bride wears red. Traditional means C, the ways of doing things that have existed for a long time. Number 7, try to avoid talking when you have food in your mouth. It's very rude. Avoid means choose not to do. A. Number 8. On a typical day, Eric works from 9 p.m. to 5 p.m. But today he worked until 7:30 p.m. That should say 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I apologize for the error in the text. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But today he worked until 7:30 p.m. So typical means C, usual. All right, great. I hope you all did well on vocabulary. Now, please turn the page. Page 188. Preview reading. Today, you are going to read an online discussion group where people can post comments about a topic. In the forum, travelers ask for advice about customs in different countries. What kind of topics do you think the travelers will ask about? Greeting people, conversation topics, giving and receiving gifts, table manners, other. Please press pause on the videotape and put a tick by any of the topics that you think will be discussed in the forum. Now, please turn the page to page 189. Answers to all your travel questions. Yongjun Park from Seoul posted a question in the online forum, said, "First trip to US." This is what he wrote. He received several responses. 1 and 2 here, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All of these people answered him and provided information. On the next page, Sam in Los Angeles posted a question about travel to Egypt, and he received 2 replies. Now turn to page 192. You are first going to read for main ideas. I want you to press pause on the video and read questions or statements 1 to 6 now. Okay, please turn back to page 189. Read the question about the first trip to the US and the responses, and read about the question traveling to Egypt and the responses. Then answer each statement true or false. Please press pause on the videotape, read the travel forum, and answer each question true or false. If it is false, please correct it. We will discuss the answers in class. Great. Now that you have answered the statements true or false, please turn the page to page 193. I want you to read the travel forum again, this time reading for specific details. Write information from the forum for each of the topics below. When to open gifts. What does it say in the forum is a good time to open gifts? Please give 2 examples from 2 different countries. Let's do number 1 together. Look back here. The first trip to the US. The first trip to the US. The man from Seoul asks about his travel to the United States. Sue from Miami says, "It's a good idea to bring a small gift or something from your country. Don't be surprised if your boss opens the gift right away. In the US, people often open a gift when they receive it. In Korea, that is not polite." So, you will give 2 examples in number 1. In the United States, it is polite to open a gift right away. In Korea, you open a gift later. Number 2, what are some good conversation topics? I also want you to write some bad conversation topics. Number 3, wearing shoes in the house. Where is that okay and where is that not okay? Number 4, polite table manners. And number 5, what is appropriate behavior in business meetings? All right, please press pause on the video, read the forum again, and answer these questions here. Okay. After you have finished writing the information from the forum for these topics, please turn the page. Okay. Since we are not in class, we cannot do a group discussion, but I want you to read these 4 questions, think about them, and write a couple of answers in your book. We will discuss when we return to school. Number 1, why is it important for a business person to understand another culture when traveling? Think about that. Why is it important for a business person to understand another culture? If someone travels from the United States to Korea or to Thailand, why is it important that he or she understands the culture? Number 2, Soon Hee writes, watch your American host and do what they do. Do you think, is this good advice? Why or why not? Number 3, what have you learned about etiquette in different cultures? Did you learn this by traveling or living in another country, or by meeting people from other cultures? Please give a few examples. Number 4, do you think people are naturally polite, or do they learn to be polite? Explain. Please press pause on the videotape, read these questions, think a little, and write a couple of answers. Great. Now please turn the page. Page 195. Writing skill. Today you are going to have a writing assignment. I gave you a piece of paper that said writing practice number 3. That is what you are going to use to write your paragraph. First, though, let's look at a writing skill. Supporting your main idea with examples. When you write a paragraph, you need to support your main idea. One way to support the main idea is with examples. Examples will make your ideas clear to your readers. Writers often introduce their examples with the phrases, for example, and for instance. These are very common in English and will be very helpful to you in your writing. Here's a sample. My advice is to know good topics of conversation. For example, you can talk about travel, food, music, or sports. So remember those phrases, for example and for instance. Now please turn the page. Page 196. I want you to read this response in the green box to the question, what's an appropriate gift for me to bring my boss and his family? What is the main idea of the response and what are the examples? So the question is, what's an appropriate gift for me to bring my boss and his family? Please read the response in this green box, write the main idea, and write some examples here. Please press pause on the videotape, read the response, write the main idea, and write your examples. Okay, great. Let's check our answers. In response to the question, what is an appropriate gift for me to bring my boss and his family? The main idea of the paragraph of the response is there are several appropriate gifts to bring a host. There are several examples. Please note that the author of the paragraph used for example. For example, you can bring flowers. So flowers is one example. Food is another good example of an appropriate item to bring. So food, second example. The writer said, for example, and then said, another good example. The writer then said, for instance, like for example, for instance, you can bring a small gift for the home. So the third example is a small gift for the home. So I hope you wrote the main idea, several appropriate gifts to bring a host, followed by 3 examples: flowers, food, small gift for the home. Please circle for example and for instance in your book so you can see how they are used. Good job. All right, let's move on. Please turn the page. Page 197. This is your writing assignment for this lesson. You're going to write a paragraph with supporting examples. You're going to write a paragraph in response to a question posted in an online travel forum about politeness, very similar to what we read a few pages back. As you prepare your paragraph, please think about this question. What does it mean to be polite? What does it mean to be polite? Here's the question from the travel forum. The question is, I am traveling to Thailand for the first time. What do you know about manners in Thailand? What tips do you have about being polite? On the paper that I gave you in class, I want you to write a paragraph of at least 125 words. At least, you can write more. Please write a paragraph answering the questions, what do you know about manners in Thailand? What tips do you have about being polite? Think about living in Thailand and what advice you would give to someone who is coming to visit. Some ideas: bringing gifts for your host, taking off your shoes. Is that something that you do or don't do? What are some topics of conversation? What are table manners? Are there certain things that you shouldn't do in certain situations? Think about what it means to be polite, and I want you to write a paragraph of at least 125 words on the separate paper that I gave you, giving some advice to someone who is coming to Thailand to visit. Okay, that is the end of this lesson. Please complete your writing assignment before you return to class for our next lesson. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me at my Facebook page, Arjan Michael, and I will answer you as quickly as I can. Thank you very much for your attention to this lesson.